Yo, welcome back to another episode. I know it's been a hot minute. We took a little break, but we're back. It's the new year. So the team want to wish all of you guys Happy New Year and thank you for coming back and tuning in with us today. So before we start, I want us to introduce ourselves once again, just in case you've forgotten. I go by the name of Marvs.
I'm Daniel.
It's your boy Special K, K.A.
Last but not least, it's your boy Webbs.
Cool. Now that that's out the way, today we have a very, very exciting topic, as I mentioned earlier. And the topic is, are you obligated to tell your current partner about your past? Meet someone new, you're getting to know them and from history. Are you obligated to tell them everything, or you can pick and choose, or you're obligated to tell everything? So what are you saying, Mandem? Talk to me.
I think it depends.
Some words are going to be reaching out to some people afterwards.
let me say why I think it depends, right? Like, if you're think about it this way, yeah. I'm not sure if everyone there can really remember what they've done like 10 years ago, right? So sometimes you actually can't recall what you've done. And on the other hand as well, it actually depends if the person that you're with is quite interested in your past. Like, they really want to know what you were up to before and whatnot. What's the point of you sharing everything with them if they don't want to know? Because this is a new chapter that you're with. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless you feel like the details that you need to give them is important. Because two reasons. If they know that you can walk with your shoulders high, that if someone says something, you've already told them, so they can be confident that they can trust you. Or the second one as well is also just to cover like the relationship you have, that no one can really say, oh, I know this and she doesn't know, or Chinese whispers. Do you get it? So that would be the only reason why I would tell the person, if that makes sense. But if it's not relevant to them and they're not interested, then I don't see, you're not doing anything wrong personally anyway.
But it's like from like let's just say your partner's out and someone sees them like one of your old friends.
Yeah,
they see them and yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like if they see them and they're like, oh, I used to be with Dan, like how would you feel? Like, because obviously you might not have told them, or it might not have come up in conversation, but obviously now maybe the other person sees that you're married and they see your spouse and they come and they're like, oh yeah, me and Daniel used to be together. Like, I feel like you might be leaving yourself open to a big argument or something like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, obviously the key thing is, of course, like if it's to do with like an ex or something like that, if I can put it that way, then yeah, the person has a right to know. Do you know what I'm saying? Because for all you know, in that person's head, that you didn't break up with them and you got a new girl. So all of those things count, innit? Obviously, there has to be like context to why you're doing it, if that makes sense. That's my point of it. If it's just someone I was just talking to, like when I was in year 9, like what's that relevant? Do you know what I'm saying? It's not relevant to where we are now.
So right now, yeah, like we're all between the ages of 27 to 30, 31. Whatever, yeah. So, like, how far back would you say you should go back in? So for example, say you dated a girl when, like, you was, I don't know, 20, and now you're 30. Do you talk about that kind of relationship, or like it's your most current ones? What do you guys think?
Depends. I'd say it depends how serious it was in the past. It's like Daniel says, it goes down to how was it left? One, do you know what I mean? Because in that person's mind, for all you know, they might think you still got some sort of attachment. So I think you need to let your spouse know about people that you've been with in the past, because you don't want to blindside them to when you might go to an event or you might see someone and you're with your wife. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If then you're having to explain on the spot or after, when really and truly this could have been done beforehand.
Yeah. But it's like obviously like in today's day and age, a lot of people talk about like body counts and all that. So would you say you're obligated to tell your current partner your body count? Like,
be honest, looking at it now, it's not. I wouldn't look at it the way I used to. If that makes sense. Because when we was a lot younger, obviously, when people mention body counts and, you know, numbers, you're like, raw. Can you really be with someone that's been with slept with 10, 20 man?
Mm.
Like realistically, when we're younger, in your head, that'll play on your mind. So I don't know. With that one, things for every man for themselves, really. When I look at it now, I've matured more, so it wouldn't really bother me. But when we were younger, I think that's something that'll probably play on your mind.
But the question is, like, is that something that you shared to your wife? Like, it's not about whether it bothers you or not, but like, is it something that you feel like you will tell your wife, or you're obligated to tell your wife?
I'll be honest, I don't know.
It's a tricky one, because when you say obligated, that means like it's a must. Like you have to tell them. Obviously, like you're basically signing like a contract to say, now I'm with you. I have to tell you everything I've ever done. Like, and I guess the question is, Charles, if you told your wife everything you've ever done to her, would she still be your wife? That's the next question, isn't it? Like, once she knows everything.
Spot like that, man.
Yeah, we want to get your ideas, right? Your thoughts, isn't it?
I mean, look, like the thing is, I feel like it all depends on what your partner wants to know. You know, like I feel like if your partner wants to know certain things, they'll definitely ask, right? So with me personally, I'm on the like, I don't think you're obligated to tell your partner everything. You know, like there's some things that it's like, what's the point of telling them? Especially if, you know, if it's a relationship, if it's something that it wasn't that serious in the first place, you know. Yeah, so I think you pick and choose what to tell them. And like in regards to what you mentioned earlier, in terms of like someone seeing your partner outside and them bringing it up and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like even that shouldn't be a problem, because at the end of the day, I'm with my current partner. So if you go out and someone comes up to them and they tell them that, oh, like, I used to date, you know, your partner now. First of all, like that person's a loser for even doing that in the first place. I don't see the point of you going up to someone's partner and telling them that you used to date them or whatever, innit? You know, but to me, like at the end of the day, okay, like I didn't tell you, maybe because to me, like it's not something that I felt like I needed to tell you. You know, what I've told you is what I needed to tell you. So like keep it moving. I don't think it's not like any form of misleading or not being truthful. You know, like I understand if it's something that kind of changed you as a person and you act a certain way towards your wife and your wife doesn't understand it, then maybe, you know, okay, you know, like you should share that with your wife, you know, as to why you behave this way or you do things this way. You know, let's say that they have a rough idea of where you're coming from. But if it's nothing like that, then, you know, like what's the point?
Yeah. Because exactly what you're saying, Charles, because obviously context is everything, right? So if like you're in a relationship, in your old relationship, you were cheated on, and now you're paro. The current person that you're with, you're calling them every 10 minutes. Where are you? Da-da-da-da. Yeah. And it's like, okay, the person needs to know why you're behaving like that. Obviously, not saying that is justifiable reason for you to treat a person like that in terms of not giving them the trust that they deserve, but there is a reason to why you're behaving like that. I think those kind of things they need to know. But like, if it's just like minor things that, me and her used to talk, but nothing ever happened, like, I don't think that's anything major. Of course, you know, you get some girls where, or should I say some women, if I can put it properly, you know, sometimes they feel like they know you more than the person that you're with, so they're trying to prove a point. Then I think it's important that you let them know why the person is behaving like that, so that you can prepare the person that you're with, so when they meet them, it's just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, you just can't get over it, that type of thing, innit?
Yeah.
But I do have a question, though. Like, say if, like, someone went to jail for, like, the maddest thing, right? They come out of jail, like let's say 10 years later, they're in a new relationship, nothing's happened, they've done their new life, and what they went to jail for was an accusation. It wasn't even a fact, right? But it's still on their record, whatever, yeah? Do you have the obligation to tell your current partner, even though it's like 10 years later?
Yes.
That's different.
Hey, so you see how it's different when it's like a woman or like a spouse or like exes, but then if it's like a part of your history, then it's like it's a straight yes. Yeah. So how comes it's different then? Like,
No, because look, like this is crime here, right? Like you've got a record, right? Which can stop you from doing things in life, right? Like if you're, for example, like we're advised to even talk about things like credit score, like for instance, right? Like when you're getting married, you sit down, you ask your partner, oh, like, how's your credit score? You know, so that you figure out, bro, like these are conversations that come up, you know, like so that you can figure out how to move forward. You know, like if you want to buy a yard together and your credit score ain't good, how are you gonna move forward? You know, things like that. So there's some information that you have to share, you know, with your partner, which I have to do with my wife. Like I have to share a lot of things, you know, like financially, you know, like this is what I get, you know, this is what's happening, you know, like history of stuff that I've had to go into details about certain things, right? And I feel like that's something that needs to be kind of addressed from early, you know. Well, like as a man, if you know we're giving advice to men, I feel like that's something that you should try and address from early, like rather than leaving it till when it's time to actually do something and it's not happening. That's when the person's finding out, kind of thing. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So, so it's very, very important. Something like that, I think, is very, very heavy, you know, because you've been to jail and you've got that on your record. So I think you should share that. You know, if that person loves you, then boom, the person will stay. If they don't, then you know, keep it moving. You know what I mean? But that one, I think you're obligated, definitely obligated to share that one.
Yeah, but you might want to have like a fresh start, like literally. Let's say
like
you come out of the pen, like you don't even want to live that life no more. You don't really want to be known by that person no more. Like you literally want to start brand new. You've met someone brand new. They like you for who you are. Like, is there a reason that I have to tell them I've got a criminal conviction? Like, if it doesn't affect anything anyway, but let's just say like I've got my job, I'm working. Like now we've come into a committed relationship. Like, is it a must that I have to tell them I went to peddler?
I think it depends on what you went jail for. I mean, if it's a minor incident, I think a lot of men wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
But it's a minor incident. Okay, yeah, you might have spent time in jail, but if it's something more serious along the lines of where your past might come back and then you're putting your future family in danger, then I think that's different. Because you were involved with certain type of people or something might happen with other type of people and certain things haven't been put in the past with others. You might have a fresh start, but the people you went jail for or whatever you went jail for, they're still looking at you a certain type of way. But that means that the person you're with and the future you're planning on, involving yourself with that person, you can put them in danger. So I think it depends.
I don't think
it's a concrete yes. I get what Charles is saying, but I think for a lot of men it will depend on what they've done and what they've been to jail for.
I think it's a concrete yes. I think like no matter what it is, it should be a yes because it's something that's on your record, bro. Like it's not gonna go anywhere. Bear that in mind. It's not gonna go anywhere.
No, your wife's off after 10 years.
Well, depending on what it is, isn't it? Like, depending
this is what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying. So,
but still,
after a certain period of time, it may not even be there anymore. So for a lot of men, it's a minor. So they won't say anything. And really and truly, if the person you're with is not going to ask you questions,
then
about jail at least. You into jail.
You just got to leave it in it.
How does that come up in conversation? Like, oh, have you ever been to jail?
I think, but most females will ask that question though, innit? Because of the gender.
I don't think so, bro. I've never been asked that by my spouse.
I think they do.
I've never been asked that.
Yeah, but that's when we grew up. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're looking at a generation now, I think a lot of females ask that question.
Yeah, but okay, let's say something like this then. Let's say like now we know a lot of people do a lot of F and all that stuff, you get me? Like this generation, it's actually mad, like the amount of people that do F. People in church, people outside of church, it's actually mad. Imagine all the relationships that are going to come out now. Like, do you think the spouse is going to ask each other, oh, did you ever do F like back in the day? Like, it's one of those topics, like how does it ever come up? Like, these times, man might be even buying her the Birkin bag with the F like, and she'll be enjoying the thing like. So it's like, are you obligated to tell her that? Oh yeah, my credit score got affected because I did F back in the day, and now I can't buy a house, or I can't even open a bank account with this bank because I did F on the account. Like,
yes, I think you are, because eventually, like, it will come up. Like, I'm gonna open up a little bit and not go in too much detail because it involves other people.
Please don't go too much.
But like, like this is about me, innit? Like, like, I thank God, but like, I had something on my CRB, right? Because I got involved in something like when I was younger, right? And it stayed on there for a very, very long time, right? Like, it literally just came off last summer. That went right, and like, it was actually like a testimony for me, right? And like, I realized how much it was affecting me. Like, even though I managed to get a job, like, I had to always explain myself, right? And it's a bit annoying to go for a job, and it's like, why is this? You have to always like revisit that time, right? Now, like when I got with my wife, like, everything was fine. Like, I was working, all that stuff was fine, right? Until I got to a point where, like, I had to change jobs again. I feel like, like, I've been at this space for a while. Like, I want to move to a different space, right? Now, when I was moving to a different space, as part of my interview, obviously, it came up at that time because I done my CRB and was still on. So it came up, right? And when it came up, I got rejected for that job, right? So, of course, I had to tell my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. I had to tell her that, boom, I'm trying to do this, but this is what happened. And that's how it came up. It's not because I intentionally didn't tell her, but it came up because I now came to a stage where I needed to now move onto something else and that area. Do you get it? Now, the reason why I didn't tell her initially is because I was working. I was fine at that time. Then if I was going through something which I know that it was going to affect me, then boom, I'll be like, oh, this is what happened, blah,
exactly,
blah, blah, blah. That's why I feel like, like, even if you don't intentionally tell them, when you get to a stage where that opportunity comes up, I feel like you should still tell them. Just in case in the future it comes up again, then at least she knows about it, So, in terms of things that affects your credibility, I think it's very, very important that you have to let them know. You have to let them know. Like, no matter how small, how big, and my thing was like a small thing. Like, it wasn't even like a big thing, but it's something that stayed on my record for 7 years, bro. 7 whole years.
Yeah,
and that's a long time.
Yeah.
So,
but then would you say that you only told her because it came up though? Because then in that scenario, you wasn't necessarily obligated to tell her, because otherwise you would have told her like a couple of years before.
Yeah.
Or would you say it's because of the situation occurred that you ended up telling her?
Yeah, but like, that's what I said. Like, I didn't think to tell her because I was good. I had a job, So like, it wasn't something where I didn't see the impact of it. Like when I came out uni and I tried to go into my career. Yes, I got rejected twice before I actually got a job in another school. Do you get it? But after that, I was good. I was working calm. Everything was fine until now. I wanted to go for something else, and it came up again. And that's when I've already started dating her. So when it came up, I could have lied about it. Bear in mind, I'd be like, oh, like, I didn't get it because blah blah blah. Just made up an excuse, right? But I feel like, no, it's my obligation to tell her that I've got this thing on my record. Hence why I got rejected. Do you get it? So when it came up, I felt like it was my obligation to tell her.
Okay.
You get it? So I stand by that point that it's my obligation.
Yeah. That's the thing, because with me, the reason why I asked this, for example, like, let's say you committed a crime in like Australia, you're now in the UK, that was how many years ago, you're doing your thing, nothing's ever going to come up again because that thing is wiped off and all of that stuff. Like, when do you tell her, or do you even have to tell her? That's what I was saying. But in what Charles was saying, obviously, there comes a point where you have to make them know, if you know what I'm trying to say. Because how long are you going to carry online and say, oh, I didn't get it. When the actual reason is you've got
Adima, your camera's up. Yeah, they're good.
Sorry. I think there's how long would can you go on for and say, oh, I didn't get it based on my skill set, or I didn't get it? Do you know what I mean? It's only a matter of time where you will slip up anyway. Because you can only lie for so long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, because see, that's the mindset that I'm coming from. I'm thinking like, if it's gonna cause you to lie in your relationship, then you should definitely tell the person. But I wouldn't say that you need to bring it up like out of nowhere, like be like, okay, I've done this in my past, I've done this in my past, I've done this in my past, if that makes sense. So, like, because obviously the key question was, are we obligated to tell them? Which basically means like, if I go into a relationship, I should tell them everything that I've ever done. But then I feel like it's more so that you shouldn't necessarily feel obligated. But if you feel it's going to impact your relationship, as you said, then that's when maybe you should be more forthcoming with what you've done or what could affect the relationship in the future. Whether that's their safety, whether that's their emotions, they might get upset. Obviously, that you're not doing certain things, or obviously, like from a financial point of view, obviously, if you can't get a job, then obviously that's a big impact in it. So yeah, I think what Dan mentioned is like not necessarily obligated, but it will be beneficial if you don't end up lying because you don't want to tell them what you've done before, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
But now, Webbs, what you saying, man? You're quiet there. What you got a past, yeah?
So remember, like, what type of like how serious like do you think it has to be before you can tell your partner? Like give us an example of what you can get away with and what you can't get away with, please.
Oh, don't say that. Why are you saying that? You're asking me as if I've been jail and I haven't told my wife. But I don't know, man. Like for me, obviously, I've never been jail in it, but I know people that have been, and for them, when I've had conversations, that it's been said to me that, you know, if it affects my future family or people that I'm close to, then it's something I will have to tell my partner. If the past is that serious, because, you know, let's say you were involved in, you know, drugs, or you were trapping, you know, I mean, throughout that lifestyle, you meet certain type of people. Now, we all know from watching movies and certain other things, or what we've seen in life growing up, that life, it's hard to leave that life. And always people always feel like you owe them, or you need to do certain things for them before you come out of that life. Do you know what I'm saying? So if things happen during that period or that journey in your life and you go jail, when you come out, yeah, people might have forgot certain things, but if your life is moving well away from that past, or away from the things you've done before, people are going to be jealous. And things may happen. So for me, it's almost like, if it's something that may come in danger, or it may affect your partner or your family in the future, you have to tell them, because they don't want to be blindsided by your past. The things will always creep up some way or another. But I was saying, like, minor incidents, like what, you went jail for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, I mean, them type of jail sentence, you know what I'm saying? For a little stupid robbery or something like that. I don't know. A lot of men might not say anything, but a few men might.
On your record. Whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, it's going to be on your record. That's the thing. So if you're on your CRP, then, you know, do you think you don't have to say it, like, just because it was 2 weeks?
Yeah, but I think what you got to look at as well is, if someone is getting in and out of prison, to them it becomes normal. So if they meet someone and all of a sudden they stop that, do you really think they're going to then tell them? I don't think they will, unless they're being asked to. I don't know, man. I think it goes down to the person and maybe how long they've been jailed for, what they've done. I don't think every man is going to tell their partner or their future wife that they've been jailed and they've done this, they've done that.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on how long you've been in for, and what are the implications when you come out.
Yeah. It's all about the impact, man, because,
absolutely,
okay. So what if, like, things like let's take it back into, like, relationships. Like, what about if it's something that, like, you've done in the past, for example, like if you've cheated in the past or you've done something in the past? Do you feel like that's information that, you know, like, as a man, get into a new relationship, like, partner? No.
I think you do.
Yeah, that's why people got trust issues nowadays, man. They say you can't trust nobody when it comes to relationships like that. So Yeah, that's a techie one still.
Do you know what is the maddest one? You come clean, trust issues are damn.
Trust
anyway.
issues are
You
down.
don't say
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
It's still
Exactly.
trust issues. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
where do you go?
You can't
But
win. You
I
can't
see
win.
what Webbs is saying. I think you have to. I think it's that one.
That one you have to. I think.
I think you have to. You have to.
But if it's
You have
something
to, before someone starts exposing you on the gram or something mad, like.
But
Like,
it could have
this
been the
guy's a
situation you was
cheater.
in. Like it could have been your situation you was in. Maybe you didn't love the person. Like obviously, I'm not condoning cheating at all. Please don't cancel me. Don't cancel me, please. But you know what I'm saying, like certain people, like especially if you're younger anyway, certain people don't take relationships serious, isn't it? So they're already going to be talking to multiple people. But yeah, it's like. What do you say? Like, oh, I cheated on my past spouse. Like, it's a bit mad. Like, it's a bit techie. It's a bit techie still.
Those things come up though, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
They do
it's
come
true.
up in conversation. If you meet someone you're serious with, those things come up. Those
In
questions,
conversation,
that
yeah.
conversation, it usually tends to happen. So when that happens, you either come out or you start sweating. It's down to you what you want to do.
Word.
But even it usually comes up in conversation. That's the way I see it. If you're with, sorry,
but my question is, so what's the objective of you telling that person? Because like that was different. Right? So what's the objective? You telling that person what are you trying to, like, what message are you giving out to that person, basically?
That you might have changed. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to explain to them that you changed, you're an honest man now. Like,
what's the point?
What do you mean? What's the
point? So now you're saying you're not obligated now? Oh, mate. It's actually
Charles, you wouldn't unless you were asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like, okay, like, say for example,
no. It's a yes or no. So unless you were asked, you would not say anything.
Yeah, but like, how?
No, let me answer that quickly. Yeah, like, okay, like for example, if I come out, okay, like say, like you talk about your past, right? Like, and you bring up that ex, like I date so and so. I'm sure like your partner will ask, oh, what happened? Why did the relationship end, right? If I cheated, then that's something that I'll have to say, of course. But like, if it's someone that like, it wasn't, I don't know. Okay, if it's someone that I didn't tell her about, then of course I wouldn't bring it up and be like I cheated on someone. So once again, it all depends on the information that I've already given to my wife and what she asks about it. Right. So if I'm prepared to tell her that I dated this girl, I should be bold enough to now open up and tell her everything that comes with it. Do you get it? But yeah, I mean, just randomly meeting a girl, getting to know a girl, and telling that girl that boom, I've cheated. I don't know. Me, I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, it's a mad one still.
The thing is, all right, cool. You were in a previous relationship, Let's say in that relationship you didn't know God, you had no like ethics, moral ethics, right? You're just being a baby boy. You thought you were ready for a relationship, but you wasn't. You ended up doing whatever you were doing, right? And now you're in a new chapter. Like, I mean, why would you then say, oh, and my previous relationship ended because, I mean, if you're in a new chapter with Christ, then maybe you can boldly say, the reason why I did it because I had no moral ethics and but now I'm a new man. It's entirely down to you if you want to take the thing. But I know where I belong and I know where my heart is. It's down to the person, do you know what I'm saying? But if it comes up, of course. But not like if you're just saying that, the reason why the old relationship ended is because I did this, but I think I'm okay now. Like,
yeah.
Like, it has to make sense. It has to make sense. And to me, like, I'm that type of person. If I'm giving you information, that like I think about why I'm giving you that information. Like what's the purpose of it? So like I don't want to give you information that will make you become doubtful of me because that's not what I want you to do. Yeah. So like, like I'm in new space. I'm starting my life again. Like you're the one that I'm with right now. Boom. We just keep on moving.
As long as you don't cheat on her, innit?
just that, you know, just keep on
Yeah.
moving. So, yeah. So,
But
fellas,
wait, but have any of you lot ever been in a situation where you might have been with your spouse, yeah, and you might have bumped into your ex somewhere, whether it's a wedding event, and then after your spouse has asked you who's that, and then you have to explain yourself.
They should know before they get to that wedding, man.
Oh my days, man.
Yeah, but this is
Oh my days.
this is what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Where Charles is saying, yeah, it has to make sense to tell her,
Yeah.
bro. 3-4 years down the line, you bump into your ex, and then cool, your wife sees her,
Oh man.
and then you're like, oh cool, and then your wife asks you, who's that? And then you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that was just a friend. Just a friend?
Yeah. Because even I know some people obviously in like the church environment, like obviously the spouses like are friends like after you've done a thing with her, whatever. But then it's like because you haven't told your spouse that she was your ex, her friend was her ex, if that makes sense. Like she doesn't know, innit? She doesn't know. So she's
Right.
befriended her naturally. So one mad thing I think was his ex was getting married and his partner said, let's go to her wedding.
all
So
right.
it's like, wait, what do you do? Like, is that when you now come clean? Like, be like, yo, I can't go to this wedding because this was my ex. Like, but then at the same time, your partner will be like, yo, so why didn't you tell me this was your ex? Otherwise, I would have never been a friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now your partner's in a mad position because they were like, oh, I can't come to your wedding because my partner told me that you was his ex. Like, it's actually a mad situation, but I don't think they ended up going in the end. But it's just like, imagine there's situations like that, especially in church anyway, where like obviously you might have tried to be with somebody and then it never worked out. And a couple of years later, someone else came to the church brand new. Obviously, they don't know your past, so in them situations, what do you do? Like, are you?
Yeah, what do you do for
Are
real?
you telling them, oh, these are all the people that I was with in church previously before you joined the church, or what are you saying? Like,
But with that, yeah, it goes to show that. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my. Yeah, with that, yeah, like it goes to show that the ex wasn't someone that was that important in your life. You know, like that's the thing though. Like I date a girl, right? And like to that girl, that's my ex I'm dating. But to you, like it might not have been that. So that's where the miscommunication is. So I feel like even like in that situation, like you just have to explain to your current partner that boom, yes, I was getting to know her or like I was dating her, but like it was never official. If that was the case, of course. If it was never official, you can back yourself up and say that because people obviously see things from different perspectives. So yeah, I mean that one, like that's the only way out of it. I feel like even like okay, let's put ourselves like in our wife's shoes, right? Say that we saw our wife, like our wife didn't share certain information with us and we found out, right? Would it affect us? What me personally?
I couldn't care.
Me personally.
No,
yeah.
It knows, but it's not fair to see things that way because we're men.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at the same time, I just feel like it should never be a big deal in my eyes. It should never be a big
deal.
Yeah, but I think men are more cool about that type of situation.
Yeah, men would dap it up like it's nothing, like because we obviously moved on, but women they'll harbour that still.
Some men, yeah.
Some men, some women, yeah.
Can't speak for.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we saying, guys?
What are we saying?
I think it depends on the context. Like I said, if it's going to add, of course, value to your relationship, it's going to make that person feel secure, and they can walk with their shoulders high, knowing that they're confident that they know key things about you. Then I think, yeah, of course, you're obliged to, you're obligated to, if I can put it that way.
Weber, what are you saying?
Yeah, I agree with Daniel. And the only thing I'll add is that as long as you have a peace of mind, then you're good, innit?
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah. Same as literally as Webb said. I don't necessarily feel you should be obligated, but so far as it's not going to lead you down a road of lies, or it's not going to give you peace of mind, or like Dan said, you feel like you've got a weight on your shoulders. Obviously, you want to be able to be free in it. So if it's gonna impact your relationship, then definitely, obviously, definitely recommend to tell your partners that you're fully open. But yeah, I don't feel you're necessarily obligated per se. Yeah.
Okay. Well, me personally, I feel like it depends on what it is. Some things I feel like you are obligated to share. Some things, of course, just let it go. Really, it's not that deep. As long as as everyone else said, group, as long as it's something that is going to affect you and your future family, then you have to kind of try and communicate that from early so that you guys might have to deal with it when something like that comes up. So so for all the man them moving forward, this is what we're saying. If you find yourself in that situation, you know how to deal with it. Like, you know what's important and what's not, So just sit down, meditate, pray to God, and
speak up.
Catch you. I do.
Don't let her catch you, man, bro.
Man, love. We're back with a banger. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and see you on the next episode. Peace, love.
Peace.